She was only 8 years old, with a shy, sweet smile, brown eyes that seemed like they were just learning how to trust the world. Her name was Relisha Rudd, and in March 2014, she vanished from a Washington, D.C. homeless shelter. And it was actually over 2 weeks before anyone ever noticed she was gone. This is True Blunt Crime. I am your host, Mike. Pull up a chair. Let's get into this. Relisha lived with her mother and brothers at the DC General Homeless Shelter. Now, this wasn't some safe house located out in the suburbs. This was a former hospital that was turned into a homeless shelter. It was housing hundreds of families, which meant, like most homeless shelters out there, it was severely overcrowded and even more underregulated. Despite all of that, Relisha had dreams of becoming a doctor. She would often put on these little plays for her friends and family. And even with all of the struggles and everything that was surmounted against her, all of her school teachers said that Relisha had a ton of potential. But unfortunately, behind the curtain, her life was really unraveling. Surveillance footage placed Relisha at a Days Inn with a man named Khalil Tatum. Oh, I know what you're asking. Who the hell is Khalil Tatum? I'll tell you, he's a 51-year-old janitor that worked at the DC General Homeless Shelter. He wasn't family, he wasn't a friend, and being a 51-year-old man, he had no business being at a motel with an 8-year-old girl. Now, in the weeks following March 1st, 2014, Relisha missed 18 days of school, and every absence was easily explained with a forged doctor's note signed by Dr. Tatum. Now, listen, I know, hold on to your hats. Dr. Tatum and Khalil Tatum, same dude. I know, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. Now, on March 19th was when school officials called in a welfare check for Relisha. And that welfare check is what triggered a search that was unfortunately 18 days too late. When the police looked into Relisha's disappearance, they immediately zeroed in on Khalil Tatum. And he was last seen on surveillance footage purchasing a shovel, lime, and heavy-duty trash bags. If I had a dime for every time I had to buy a shovel, lime, and heavy-duty trash bags to just clean my home, I'd have 0 dimes, because that's not a thing people do. A city-wide search was kicked off. Tatum was known to hang out in Kenilworth Park and Aquatic Gardens. But when police went out to the location, there were no signs of Relisha. On March 31st, Khalil Tatum was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in a nearby shed. And, like any good husband, before he self-exited, he made sure to kill his wife execution style in a nearby hotel. So, any secrets he may have had went straight to hell with him. Now, how can an 8-year-old disappear from a government-run facility with no one noticing? The DC General Homeless Shelter, they had security, but there was virtually 0 checks for inappropriate contact between adults and children. And Tatum, he was hired with no formal background check being done. And he often gave the kids gifts, took them places all by himself. He built trust. Classic piece of trash groomer. The school didn't even raise an alarm. The school didn't even raise an alarm until there were 3 weeks of unexcused absences. And even when they noticed that, they called Tatum, not Relisha's mother, they called the murderer. How fucked is that? So that's actually multiple agencies. Child Protective Services, the school system, the shelter, all of them failed Relisha horrible. Not to mention her own mother. The public didn't hear about this in the early days of her disappearance. There was really no major media coverage until it was too late. And why? Now I know some people would make this about race. She's a little black girl that disappeared, not as important as if a little white girl disappeared. But I'm not gonna make this about race. I'm gonna put it simple. There was an 8-year-old homeless girl that went missing that no one thought was very important. The homeless... Bottom line, I'm not gonna make this about race. The bottom line is, this was an 8-year-old girl that was homeless, and no one bothered to check in on her. Kind of the same way that no one checks in on any of the homeless population. It's very easy for us to walk past them and not even notice, but if you stop and think about it, we're all one bad choice away from being homeless ourselves. And now, over 10 years later, Relisha's case is still open. The FBI, DC police, well, now the homeless shelter themselves. Now, the FBI, along with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, put together age-progressed photos of what Relisha may look like today, 10 years later. Thousands of tips were checked in on. Even the park was searched as recently as 2023. Still, not a clue. Some believe Relisha may still be alive. She may have been trafficked, hidden, renamed. Who knows? Others fear that Relisha may have died the same day she disappeared. But unfortunately, Tatum took all of those secrets straight to hell with him. Her mom, Shamika Young, she's managed to mainly stay out of the media spotlight in all of this. Some question her choices. Why was she so comfortable leaving her 8-year-old daughter with Tatum? But I mean, let's be honest. It was more than her mom that failed her. An entire system that was supposed to be supporting her completely disregarded her. Now, Relisha Rudd didn't just vanish. She was erased by a broken system that was meant to protect her. And 10 years later, we're left with a bunch of questions, no answers, no justice. Just a little girl who deserved more than becoming a mystery. What do you think really happened to Relisha? Do you think she unfortunately was murdered the same day she disappeared? Do you think her mom, Shamika, was culpable in any of this? But get in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. And if you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you never miss any of our true crime stories. And if you got any enjoyment out of any of this video, hit the like button. Share the video with a friend. We're still a small channel trying to grow. But this has been True Blunt Crime. I've been Mike, you've been you, and together, let's all stay safe. Peace.